We are The Table, and we are so glad that you have taken time out of your week to join us. Here at The Table, it is our hope to move you forward in life and faith over the course of this message. At The Table, we do things just a bit differently. We pose questions in real time, and we want to give you some time to wrestle with those questions as well. Again, thanks for joining us, and we hope that this message moves you forward.
You're having a good time. Dave, we need some help up here. I know this feels really fun, weird, all at the same time. It doesn't feel like church, but man, we are so glad that you're here. And we just think Super Bowl Sunday should be a time of celebration and just a different way. My goodness, I'm out of breath. Whew. I didn't know Just Dance could be so. Yeah, take a knee. Here we go. So, hey, here's the thing. I promised y'all a big name athlete, right? And I just figured, like, the only qualifications are that they're big and they have names. And so today, I have brought in big named athletes to come in and talk with us today about things that they've learned on the football field and about faith and about life. And so would you welcome Mitch Voivoda and Ben Yeager? Come on up here, guys. See, I didn't lie to you. I told you they're big and they have names. So they are big name athletes. All right, guys, have a seat.
All right.
This guy, I feel like a miniature compared to them. So, hey, we're going to start out. Guys, introduce yourselves. Tell us your name. Tell us who you are. And then we'll get to the important stuff, okay? Ready? Go ahead. You can start us out.
Right. Hey, everyone. I'm Mitch Voivoda. From the video that was just shown, I played at South Dakota State University. I was a tight end there, graduated in 2017. SDSU, it's a FCS Division I program in the Missouri Valley Conference. We play schools like Illinois State, Southern Illinois. Those would probably be familiar to most of you. And as the video said, I studied mechanical engineering. I'm an engineer now for ComEd. And, been doing that right out of college. And I'm sure some of you recognize me. I also play guitar. I play guitar here.
He is our lead guitarist here.
Some Sundays, yep. So that's kind of my hobby and pastime I like to do.
Brawn and the brains. Amazing. All right. Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben Yeager. I went to Olivet Nazarene University over in Bourbonnais. I graduated in 2020. I was an offensive guard. What I do today, I work for Amazon. I'm a truck driver, and I love working with the youth here with Pastor Katie.
Yes, and if you don't recognize Ben, he is also the husband of our children's pastor, Emily. So yes. See, you guys didn't even know. We had athletes among us. They're just hanging out, serving your kids. The studs are hanging out and just, loving on everybody here. It's amazing. It's amazing. So, big next question. Who is your favorite team? We'll say NFL. Nobody really cares about that other than the Bengals. But NFL and favorite player. Here we go. Ready, Mitch? Start us off.
All right. Well, I have to be a Bears fan, even though it's been tough these past couple of years. But, they got some exciting playmakers on the team. My favorite player, I'd have to say, is Tom Brady, just mainly for his work ethic. I know, it's a hot take, but
get off the stage.
I just love the guy's work ethic and how he's able to lead people. So that's my pick. And as far as a Bears player, I would say Devin Hester when he was playing. He was awesome to watch.
All right. All right, Ben.
I don't have a favorite NFL team. I just enjoy watching the game.
Ooh.
My favorite player, he doesn't play anymore. He tried to make a comeback last year. Tim Tebow was my favorite player.
All right.
His work ethic as well, and his faith that he pulled out during his career. So.
All right. One question. I just have to know, because I heard the name Dallas, not the name Dallas Cowboys, but Dallas Goedert like a million times in that video. So what is so special about Dallas, Mitch, that he seemed to be like the highlight?
Yeah, so Dallas Goedert, he was a fellow tight end I played with. He's currently the starting tight end on the Philadelphia Eagles. So I like to think I taught him everything he knows, but he's just all-around great player, and it was fun to play with him, fun to watch him out there now. So that's kind of the background on that.
Hey, Dallas, if you are watching today, I want you to know you owe Mitch a huge thank you, okay?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure he's going to hear this. So, all right, big question. Let's get into some serious questions. Enough fun for now. What made you decide to play football? Out of all the sports you could have chose, why did you choose football?
Well, for me, growing up, my football was never really my main sport. It was baseball and basketball, and that's kind of what I thought I was going to do, throughout college, or try to do it in college and whatnot. And then I just had this calling. I wanted to play football. I felt like it was something I would be good at. So I think it was God's way of nudging me that, like, hey, this is what you should be doing.
So I started playing football in 6th grade. It looked fun to me. I had tried other sports. I had played baseball. I did wrestling, but football was the most fun. And it was a great stress and anger outlet. I was a very angry child.
Yeah, who needs classes when you've got football? That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really a great getaway from, the stresses of life.
Nothing more exciting than knocking somebody out. Good times. Anyway, wish we could do that occasionally here, right? For good times. Let's talk about how has athletics prepared you for the life that you're living now? How has athletics prepared you for the life that you're living now? Ben, you want to start us off?
Football has prepared me in many ways, but I think the biggest way is perseverance. When times get tough, you learn in football just to persevere through. Sometimes you have to go at it full strength, head on, full head of steam, but other times you kind of have to finesse through life and just move through it like that. But one of the biggest lessons through that I learned was what you start, you have to finish, no matter how hard it is. You got to, especially in football. I was interior line. And whatever I started, I had to finish. I had to finish blocking the guy, or he would, get the sack, blow up the running back, whatever it would be, that specific play. Perseverance, I would say, was the biggest preparation that I got.
Yeah, well, I agree with everything you just said there, Ben. And, football really prepares you for the rest of life, just with the teamwork you learn, the responsibility, time management skills, leadership development, and really working for something greater than yourself. Being part of that team. You're not an individual. You're part of something bigger, and also not taking things for granted too. We're only certain things in life you're only able to do for so long. Sports are one thing, so enjoying it while it lasts is huge.
Man, I love that. You got to start what you finish. Start what you finish and be present. Those are two great y'all should be taking notes today. Take some notes. Start what you finish. Start what you finish. Let's talk about what is the play. I know some of us, we like to relive our glory days and talk about when we were in high school and we were the captain of the football team and nobody really cares, but we do. So I would like to know, what play do you relive in your mind over and over and over again, and why?
For me, there's not really like a play in particular. I wasn't too flashy of a player. I was honestly more of a blocking tight end. So there's some good blocks in there that I look back and I'm like, yeah, I really got after it. But I would say for me, it's more so a game that stands out, and that's my senior year when we played the North Dakota State Bison at their home stadium. Now, their team, you may have heard them, they won about 9 national championships in the past 11 years, I think it was, and they were just coming off a national championship that year, and also they beat the Iowa Hawkeyes that year too, so being able to beat them at their home stadium was something special. Yeah, it was, yeah.
This
awesome.
is the part where we clap, because that's amazing. Good job, man. Good job, man.
So my play, it is a specific play. It was actually in high school, not college. It was a playoff game. My junior year of high school, I lived in California at the time. We were down by 3. It was third down, and it was the last drive of the game. We were on the goal line, and coach called a quarterback sneak. So they hiked the ball. The defenders came in, beat the tackles and the tight ends that we had out blocking on the edge. They came in and started pulling the quarterback back away from the goal line. I had one guy by one arm, blocking him, pushing him away, and I had the quarterback by the other arm, pulling him by his pads, and we got the touchdown. That's how we won the game.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes. Man, I felt like we needed some John Madden up in here just for that, you know. There was a guy here and a hole here and boom! You know, come on. John Madden for that. That's good stuff. Let's talk about this. When you look back on your career, what is it that you feel like you could have improved on?
For me, I would say being all in right away, really committing to something. You know, at South Dakota State, it was kind of it was a different experience for me because, you know, going out to South Dakota, I haven't really thought much about that state before that, and it was a lifestyle adjustment. You know, I was kind of questioning, like, you know, did I make the right choice and whatnot, and I wasn't all in right away, and if I would have done that, I could have accomplished even greater things, I believe. So that's a big one, and then, like I said before, enjoying things while they last, and not taking things for granted as well.
One thing, and it's still something that I'm working on today, that I think I could have improved on way more, was patience. I've never been patient. In football, especially playing interior line, you have to be patient for a lot of the plays that we do. Whether it's pulling back, blocking for a pass, waiting for the defender to come to you and absorbing all that shock, or whether it's getting up on a run play to the second level, blocking a linebacker, and just waiting for that right moment to knock them on their butt, pretty much. It was a lot of waiting to see the play. What's the word I'm looking for?
Develop.
I don't know. Develop, that's what I'm looking for. The play's got to develop before you make a quick move. If you don't wait long enough, then you could give away the whole play. I mean, if you don't wait, you can miss your block just completely, and it could blow up the play, whether it's a run or a pass. You get a sack, or they could blow up one of the holes in the line and just destroy the linebacker or the running back. And that whole failed play would be on you, and that's not something that you want. Yeah. So patience is a very big part of the game, and that's something that I'm still working on, but that I've learned a lot about throughout the game.
Yeah, well, let's keep going with that. This is not part of the questions I've asked you guys, but you talk about patience. Yesterday, somebody was driving in front of me, and of course, I am yelling at them to get out of the way because they're driving so slow. And my wife says, honey, God is trying to teach you patience. And I said, well, I didn't ask God for patience. And God only gives you what you ask for, and I'm not asking for it. I just need them to get out of the way. So let's talk about this for a minute, what you're learning. I want you to connect this idea of patience and talk about what does this look like in your life now? What does it look like real time for you and your job?
I think patience with your growth throughout life and developing your skills is huge, and really embracing the process over the end goal too is huge. You know, things may not happen just like that, and you have to develop trust in God's plan with that too, and that helps with your patience.
Wait, so taking naps doesn't get you big muscles?
I think taking naps is actually beneficial.
You heard it. Take all the naps you need.
It's a good recharger.
That's good, man. That's good. Does junk food align with that as well?
Well,
You can have your cheat days.
Everybody needs a cheat day.
If you're looking for a personal trainer afterwards, Mitch will meet you at the lobby at the Next Steps table. Okay. All right. I do want to talk about the all-in aspect. I think this is really good. Talk to us about in your lives where you're learning to be all in and why that's so important.
One part of that is where I'm learning. I'm currently going through a leadership training with Brad, and I'm learning that I have to be all in. Well, leadership training with him, and I went through the journey study for the 8 weeks, all in my faith. There's not a lot of times that I have been, quite honestly, because it's hard. It really is hard. I'm a really see it to believe it kind of guy, and you can't see God. So you really just have to be all in and just believe in it, and that's really how you're gonna develop your faith more, is to be all in.
That's really good.
Yeah, I think too, with being all in, it's not just about yourself. It's about helping others, improving others, bettering yourself with the goal to better others as well. Because if you're only helping yourself, I feel like you're not really doing too much good all around then.
It's good. Speaking of others, let's talk about this for a minute. Talk about the importance of playing on a team. Why is learning to play on a team so important?
It just, as I said before, you're working towards something bigger than yourself. There's a camaraderie that comes with it. And I think something with like working in the adult life and the business world, you miss, there's that part of being on a sports team that you miss from work, and there's nothing else like it. I think many businesses can improve by incorporating more teamwork, like exercises and the mindset to it, because a great team really, they work to overcome differences amongst each other, they hold others accountable, and that you put your teammates ahead of yourself.
Yeah, I think another big part of playing on a team is learning how to trust. You absolutely have to trust your team, especially in football. I mean, as an interior lineman, I had to trust that the center to my right and the tackle to my left were doing their jobs, so that I didn't have to come in and help them, so that I could just focus on my assignment, or that I didn't get crushed down and collapse the line or anything. Especially when you're handing off guys, like when the defense runs stunts or anything, you got to hand off people, and you got to trust that your guy is going to be there for you and take that handoff. And I think that translates after athletics too, especially at Amazon where I work. I got to trust my team. I've got about 10 people on my team where I work, and I've got to trust that they're doing their job efficiently, and that I don't have to go over and help them and delay what I'm doing, because doing that would decrease the production of the facility. It would up costs. It would affect everyone to the customer, from the customer to the site lead. So it would just, teamwork is everything, really, in my opinion.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Exactly.
You got it. Hey, let's keep this grooving and moving. Let's talk about your coaches for a minute. Can we talk about your good ones? You probably had bad ones. Let's talk about your good coaches for a minute. Why were they so important to you, and how did they make a difference in your life?
Yeah, I loved my college coaches. They were stellar, especially going to a Nazarene school. My position coach, my line coach, before every team meeting that we had, or before every position meeting that we had, he would always do a devotional. He would always, he was a very strong leader and a very faithful person. And it just encouraged not only me, but I think all of us that he ever interacted with, just to continue our faith and just to strengthen it, that just go to the next level. I mean, we had before every season, before every opening game, we would go to his house, and him and his wife would cook us this huge meal. The whole line would go. I mean, we're linemen, we eat a lot, so there was a lot of food. But just he built up that camaraderie within the line itself, and I think that's how, again, going back to the teamwork, that's how we connected through all of those extracurricular outside of football activities that we did. So just a great man overall.
That's good.
Yeah, I've also been blessed to have some great coaches in my life. My position coach and then my head coach in particular at South Dakota State was a great guy, awesome guy, had a great mindset, and he instilled that mindset on his players. And, you really connect with him one-on-one. A lot of bigger schools out there, I think they treat it more like a business, and you're just a number on a roster for them. But and my school is something different. They're cared about your development not only on the field but off the field too. And the things they taught me, I've carried out throughout life, and the big ones were always striving to make a positive difference. His saying is make a difference, and also leave nothing to chance and give it your all. What I thought was cool, we had this tradition after every game where you give out a deflated football to the person who the coaches voted on, gave it their all in the game. And the deflated football represents, a football that's been used up, gave it everything it got. So that stuck with me, and I try to apply that to everything I do.
It's good. You just suck the air right out of the mood. All right. Totally.
You got it.
Totally. No, I do think it's cool. Mitch, tell this story. You went to visit this fall, right? Was it this fall? Your coach, and he was in the middle of an interview. Talk about what happened. I think this is so cool.
Oh yeah. South Dakota State was playing at Western Illinois this year, so it wasn't too bad of a drive out there. Went to see the game. Then after the game, I went out on the field, and my coach saw me, and there's a bunch of, they have to do interviews after the game and went on. There's a bunch of interviewers trying to interview him, and he's like, wait, no. He set the interviews aside and actually came up to talk to me and my family for some time. And I thought, that's just the kind of guy he is. He really, really cares. He puts you first.
Let's finish this thing out. Big question is, connect it for us. How has football made an impact in your faith?
It's trust in his plan and enjoy the ride, and be grateful for everything he does for you. You may not know it at the time, but God's always working in the background. If you see it or not, his plans are bigger than yourself, and just use that to be all in.
Yeah, as a Jesus-following football player, which you don't see very often, I think one of the biggest things that I learned playing football was that you can glorify God in literally anything you do, even when you're beating the snot out of someone on the football field.
Come on, let's rumble.
One of the other biggest things I think I learned was that playing football is not who you are, it is what you do, and what you do in that makes you who you are. That's why Tim Tebow is one of my favorite players. He was known for mixing Christianity with football, and he was scrutinized and heavily prosecuted for it by both fans and critics alike. But his faith was strong enough, and he persevered through that. And I think it stepped up his game, it stepped up his faith, and he went to that next level. And he used all that negativity to encourage him to keep doing what he was doing. And when I played football, that was the kind of player that I aspired to be, was to use that negativity and to use that platform to talk about my faith and spread the good word and the gospel.
This is good. Hey, can we give these guys a hand? They've been amazing. You guys are awesome. You can have a seat.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, guys. You can either jump off or walk off, however you want to do it. Sorry. So, I I mean, meeting with both of these guys, I have learned so much from them. And I've been working through some of the things that they're saying. And as I think about this idea of team and this idea of coaching and working together, I think one of the things I've come to realize is that what we do here as a church is not just about your individual faith, but it's about what we are doing together. It's about trust. It's about developing each other. I love this. Been thinking through this. Church is a place where you can come and you can get fed, but church is also the place where we come and learn to feed each other. I love in the stories where Jesus teaches his disciples, he says, you go and feed those people. You go and feed the 5,000. And I love this idea that when we gather together on Sundays, when we gather together throughout the week in our life groups and our small groups, I need you to understand that sometimes people in their life not only need God, but they also need you. They also need you. Janelle said to me last week, she was driving the boys to church, and she said, you know, boys, some days I don't really feel like coming to church. A pastor's wife shouldn't say that, you know, especially when you're the pastor. But she said, there are some Sundays I wake up and I realize I'm just tired. You know, I know you guys would never feel that way. You would always be here. But she said, but the reason I come is because sometimes I realize just maybe it's not about what I'm going to get out of it today, but it's about who needs me this morning. Who needs to hear my story? Who needs some help in their story? Who can I coach? Who can I love? Who can I be present to? Who can lean on me and trust me in this moment? And so as we leave today, I want to do the thing that we always do together, which is we participate in the table. And as we participate and we take communion today, I want us to realize that God's grace is for us, but part of eating from the table is learning that we get to feed the people around us. That what we do is important every single Sunday. It matters. You make a difference when you are present to those around you. I think we're on the best team there could be. And I'm grateful to be on this journey with each of you. So this morning, would you take the cup that's in front of you? Would you open the top and take the wafer in front of you? And I want you to realize today that this is a God who goes all in. He does everything that he possibly can to let you know that he loves you, that you're forgiven, and that his grace is for you. And so this morning, as you eat this, remember that God went all in with his son for you. Would you take it and would you eat it? In the same way, at the end of dinner, he was sitting with his disciples and he said, my blood is going to be shed for you. You may not fully understand what's going to happen in the moment, but one day, when you sit down at the table, I want you to reflect and remember what I've done. And so this morning, we take the cup and we drink from it, remembering what Jesus has done for us. Before I pray for you, I just want you to say, I'm so excited for next week. Next week, we start a new series called We. And we're talking about this idea of team. We're talking about this idea of community. For many of us, we believe that our faith is an individual journey. And I want you to realize that it's about the people around you. And so we're going to begin this new series. I want you to come next week. It's going to be a great time together. And we're going to celebrate as we gather. Let me pray for you today. God, we are so thankful for this time. We are grateful that we get to do life with people who care about us. In a world where many of us feel anxiety and depression and we feel alone, there is a space there is a time, there is a place that is different from what we experience in the world around us. I thank you for your church. I thank you for your people. God, I pray today that we would continue to realize that we are a team and that you encourage us in every single way to continue the good fight, to motivate us, to inspire us, so we can be all in for you in the good news. We're grateful for this time. We love you, and we look forward to the work that you're going to continue to do. And it's in Jesus' name we pray this. Amen. Amen. Amen.
If this message challenged you and moved you forward, personally or in faith, we encourage you to share it with someone who needs a message of hope today. And if you're interested or looking for ways to partner with us in our mission here at The Table, head on over to thetablejoliet.org for more information.